Hi, welcome to Out of the Cloud. My name is Coley and I will be your host. This will be the first episode of a series where we take telecommunications and technology topics and break them down for the everyday business owner. With me today, I have Kevin Gallagher. Kevin Gallagher is a business development manager at TelWare as well. Kevin, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, very good.
Fantastic. So what I want to do today is talk about some overarching concepts that you see and I see within various businesses, different industries, verticals, anything like that, and how newer technology based in the cloud is able to combat some of the more traditional issues that business owners experience in their day-to-day lives.
Sure.
So a lot of what I have seen, and I'm guessing you have as well in different situations, is people still today in 2022 having on-premise phone systems, and then we help with the transition of them moving to the cloud and becoming a little more technology focused today. Would you say that's correct?
Most definitely. For the longest time, consumers or businesses have held on to an on-premise phone system. That's what they've known. It's what everyone provided lines for. So they had the exorbitant cost on those when they bought them, and they wanted to hold on to them and get their life out of them. So yeah, cloud has definitely been a game changer in moving customers off of on-premise systems. COVID has been a big game changer in moving customers off of on-premise phone systems to cloud.
What are some scenarios that you've run into in those transitions, maybe some sparking points that created the conversation, and where did those end up taking you?
Yeah, probably the largest, and everyone has seen it with COVID, is having remote workers and ease of use for remote workers. The beauty of cloud is that you can plug a phone up anywhere you have internet and it's going to register to a cloud. Can't do that with an on-prem system, right? There's a lot of licensing, there's a lot of VPN setups, everything like that you have to have, and it's just a nightmare. With cloud, I can send someone home, I can give them a phone, they can plug it up to their internet, they can take calls and make calls just like anyone that's at my business can. And that's huge. Very easy. It's not expensive for me to program a user to do that. It's simple.
That makes sense. And I feel like it maintains a level of professionalism and connectivity between your at-home workers as if they were sitting in the office, including but not limited to when they interact with the outside world, having auto attendants, music on hold, things like that keep that level of professionalism between everyone.
Most definitely. And the beauty of it is that they're still on the same phone system. So if I do any call recording, the calls aren't leaving my platform. I can still record that remote user's calls. I can easily dial 4 digits between them. So it keeps them engaged. It keeps them on my platform. I can do anything I want as if they were in the office. Yeah, it's huge.
And you personally are a work from home employee with your company as well. How do you feel like that has benefited you from the individual level?
Well, I'm a father of 3, so I can still work. And when my kids come home, I can have me at the house instead of a babysitter at the house. I'm still able to conduct my business in my office, but know that my kids are in the house. And it's, that's nice. That's a huge convenience for me to have. So any parents that are out there that have kids that are coming home or having to go to after school, being able to be a remote worker, I can do everything and still manage my family. So it's huge.
That is great. There are some industries still that I feel like I keep running into that they do have to still be in the office. Things that are on the business back end, it's a lot easier to be able to go home and work from home. But there are a collection of different industries that still need to have that presence in-house. But something that I've noticed is just even having the ability to wander around, whether it's a campus environment going from building to building, or just even, a warehouse scenario or manufacturing where you have to wander to the other side, and it still gives you that connectivity and the ability to access things. I think it's beneficial for both sides of that coin, whether it's from home or still in the office today. Would you agree with that?
Most definitely. The simplicity of cloud is you can have calls touch you wherever you are. So if I'm walking campus to campus, I'm never out of reach from my customer base if I don't want to be. On-premise is definitely a lot harder to do that with. Yeah, you can do, you can still forward out a call, but again, it's forwarding off the system. So if you're doing any type of call recording, you lose that. With cloud, you don't lose any of the functionality you want. Cloud is a game changer for making sure that businesses are always in communication with their customers should they need to be or want to be.
Okay. So as an overall or a daily use, that makes a lot of sense. When you're talking with customers, the phone system might not be the only thing that needs to make an adjustment at that time. Do you often see maybe the need for an internet adjustment, whether it's upgrading a circuit or adding a new circuit for backup and failover? Where does that conversation tend to lead?
Yeah, I think what you find a lot of times is customers don't police their internet circuits. Once it's installed, it's a get it and forget it type of situation. So a lot of customers are on older coax circuits where they might be paying $200-$300 more than what the rack rate is on that circuit right now, right? And they got it and they just, hey, my internet is working, I don't need to do anything about it. So as a service to our customers, I always ask, what type of circuit they have right now, how that experience is for them right now. And I also want to look at it based off their users too, right? So if they're going to be adding employees, they want to make sure they've got enough bandwidth that's going to take care of that employee need. And most of the folks that I run into on a daily basis, they haven't checked that. So I look at that for them. A lot of customers, they're using VoIP phones. So do they have PoE data switches, right? Are they getting power from the data switches? Are they getting power adapters all throughout their building? How is the setup currently, right? So when we go in, those are the things we want to look at when we're doing a site survey. We want to look at the customer's infrastructure. We don't want to step on anyone's toes, but we want to make sure that they're putting themselves in a situation where a cloud platform is going to be a good platform for them. And IP phones are going to require a little bit more than the old digital on-premise phone systems were. These companies should really be looking at their infrastructure anyway. They should be budgeting 3 to 4% every year for network infrastructure. And if they're not, they need to.
From a device or a technology background or anything along those lines, what are some ways that we can suggest to customers, using multiple circuits, using an SD-WAN, or even things like voice prioritization, especially if this is the first time that they're moving to a cloud system versus an on-premise that used to be analog style?
Well, with VoIP, they're going to want to have quality of service set anyway for the devices. SD-WAN is really a game changer though, because we can do WAN smoothing. So with WAN smoothing, we're sending packets down 2 different tunnels. So if they have a primary and a secondary circuit, we can send packets over both circuits simultaneously. If one of those goes down, there's no loss in packets. So voice is still great. They're not losing any quality on voice. If your voice is a difference maker for your business, SD-WAN is definitely something you should look at. And SD-WAN with WAN smoothing is without a doubt something you should have for your company.
So to break that down even further, SD-WAN is a great way to provide essentially failover for your day-to-day business, because nowadays everything is run over the internet. Mm-hmm. And if you have 2 separate circuits, whether it's a coax and a fiber or a fiber and a cellular backup or anything like that, it helps kind of diversify that portfolio so you've got
true redundancy.
100% uptime at all.
True redundancy.
Okay. So one thing that I've noticed with, I guess my particular industries that I end up working with, I have a lot of campus environment businesses. And not only is the work from home situation for me a little bit different from a traditional office setting, because people are still in-house more, they're still working from building to building like we touched on earlier, but there's also different needs within those businesses for the different scopes of what we call unified communications today versus just a simple phone system. Do you see that as well?
Most definitely. Yeah, most definitely. I mean, no one uses just a plain old phone system anymore, right? So video conferencing is huge. Being able to send out an alert blast or a SMS message to a ton of people at one time. All of those things have become very prevalent in our industry.
Well, not to mention even that, but what I keep seeing with customers today is I'm company ABC and I've got all of my employees, and as an individual, I have Outlook for my email and this for my internal chatting and this for my video conferencing, and my phone system's over here, and I've got these 4 to 6 different things.
Sure.
And it's a lot to have all of those different platforms. So seeing the unified communications kind of meld those back together and bring them back to one cohesive unit has been a really big game changer for a lot of people, whether it's church environments, manufacturing, traditional office settings, anything like that. Just even simple texting, being able to text a client or have a 3 or 4-way chat where you send documents back and forth if you're out in the field with an admin in your office or anything like that is really helpful for people today once they get used to that transition, and it helps them kind of streamline their day-to-day operations.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, single sign-on to a portal that has all of those apps in one, who wouldn't want that?
Yeah, and not even that, paying a single bill instead of paying 6 different bills from a finance standpoint is really helpful. It just cuts things down. It cuts down the clutter within
Happy
life
CFOs.
Trust me, your accounting team is gonna love you.
Most definitely.
Within that, do you have any kind of particular examples that you've run into that, more than just a phone system is a really big benefit for them?
Yeah, so I do a lot with the legal field, and there's been a lot of video conferencing depositions and all of that. So, with HD Meet and OneCloud, all of it is tied in together. So the attorneys that I work with, they love the fact that they can do all the video conferencing right through HD Meet, which is attached to their OneCloud portal. But a lot of them also have folks that are off-site. So they want those phone calls to stay on the phone system, but go to their employees when their employees are working remotely. So the web phone allows them to do all of that. Cloud has made telecommunications, video conferencing, so much easier than it's ever been in the past. Folks that are still on an on-premise system are really missing the boat, and they've only got maybe a year or 2 left on their on-premise system. You're seeing right now a lot of larger companies moving everything to cloud, right? So analog POTS lines going away. They're going to be gone shortly. So do you have a solution for that? We do. OneCloud can take care of those for you. So if you're, elevator lines or fax lines, so many people still use faxing. Even though everyone thinks faxing is going away, faxing solutions are still used. Whether you have a secure portal, eFax, on-site fax machine, all of those are still viable faxing methods that are still used every single day, right? And a lot of people don't know of all the options that they have, so they might be spending $40 a line on a fax machine. It's a lot of grip for a fax.
Or even with that, I've seen a lot of customers who, much like the internet conversation, they set it and forget it. They bought it 10 years ago, 15 years ago, whatever it might be. It could be as little as even 5 years ago. And things change within a business. You don't inherently need lines 6 and 7 anymore, or you don't need all of these different phone numbers that you used to. All the use cases just start to evolve as time goes on, and people end up paying for things that they haven't used in 1, 2, 10 years, and it's it just never gets looked at. So a lot of what I've seen when we start having the cloud conversation with a new phone system is, let's check what you've got today. Let's make sure we're doing our due diligence. And, oh, hey, look at this. This is no longer necessary either way. So let's find, other ways to just streamline everything.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you're really missing the boat if you're not looking at your internet circuit every 2 to 3 years, your phone system every 2 to 3 years, because so much is changing so quickly. Are you doing what's best for your business so your customers can get in touch with you? If you're not, somebody else is. That's it, right? If I'm not making my business the best, I guarantee you somebody else out there is outperforming me.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, even in the last 4 to 6 years, what we have done internally has changed a lot. And the technology advancements and the features and functions and platforms that we didn't have even 3 years ago are such a big change. So even with, my current customers, I keep up with them and let them know all of the new things that are going on, because if nobody tells you, then you don't inherently know about it. So keeping, just, staying involved with technology today, it's a lot easier in our industry because we're in it. But for the everyday business owner, that's why we're here, is to kind of help open those doors and see what they've got going on.
Right. And another thing that's huge that a lot of companies don't think about is customer support. Are you getting the kind of support that you're paying for? Right? If you're calling into your provider and it takes you 30, 40, 45 minutes of your employee's time to get somebody on the phone, and you're paying for that service, are you getting what you're paying for?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Right.
And especially as your business gets bigger, or as the technology needs shift, is making sure you've got essentially that business partner who's going to take care of you.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, your business as the business owner is the one that needs to stay up and running, and that's the one that matters. I mean, that's just how that goes. We're here to operate in the background so that you don't have to do what we do.
Right, that's exactly right. Yeah, and the last 2.5 years have been huge in changing. You've seen SD-WAN explode. You've seen cloud telecommunications explode.
Absolutely.
Everyone is moving servers offsite. AWS, and those services have just grown exponentially in just the last 2.5 years. Where we're going in the next 2.5 years, who knows? But I think you're going to see very few businesses keep servers on site. It's gotten to be more of a headache than it is anything for that business owner, especially when you look at the costs now. A lot of the costs are coming down on the managed services. So you can have someone take care of that for you. You have a lot more security. You have redundancy, which a lot of people still don't have. And if you're looking at adding circuits, whether it be a backup circuit or like a coax backup circuit, they're really, really inexpensive. If you look at the total cost for what would happen if your internet pipe were to go down for a day, total cost, right? You can have an LTE backup, you could have a coax backup, and very easily keep your employees working, and you're still able to function for a relatively inexpensive cost. And it's changing every single day. More and more is offered, and the prices are very reasonable. So I think you're going to see a lot happen in the next couple of years when it comes to on-site pieces of equipment, whether it be phones, servers, anything really for telecommunications is going to move to cloud.
Yep, that makes a lot of sense.
Coley, the circuits are less expensive, and it's not just for Fortune 500 companies. I have law firms that have 2 or 3 employees, and they have multiple circuits. They have cloud phone platforms, and they're saving money over what they did with their on-premise equipment.
Oh, absolutely.
So whether you're a 2-phone user or a 2,000 phone user, there's tons of options. And cloud just has a huge, it's a smorgasbord, right? It is it's the Japanese sushi bar. I want to go and pick a little bit of everything, and you can do that regardless of the size of your company.
Yeah, absolutely. Wholeheartedly agree with that. It doesn't matter who you are. I think that's a really great kind of breakdown as to all of the different bits and pieces that can encompass that. I really want to thank you for your time, Kevin. It was really insightful being able to talk to you today. And thank you so much. This is Out of the Cloud. My name is Coley Lyon, and we will see you next time.